Yo, what's up YouTube? itsLTAB here. Thanks for joining me for this video. What we're going to be watching today is a Vainglory build guide for the character Reim. So without further ado, let's dive into the character. I am going to go over his skills really quickly, just to help you guys out. If you want to skip this part of the video, please refer to the time links in the description below. You can move around the video pretty easily, and I'll put those down there for you guys so you can skip whatever you want. Basically, his A ability is called Winter Spire. It summons a deadly ice crystal at a location and deals massive damage. And keep in mind that this deals increased damage by 25% to targets that are already chilled by his abilities or attacks. His second perk, or his second skill, is Chill Winds, which will root enemies in place if they are already chilled around him. It'll also deal crystal damage to any surrounding enemies, whether they are chilled or not. His ultimate is called Valkyrie, which deals massive damage if you hit the target right in the center and even around the edges. It'll also slow or stun the target depending on how close and accurate you can use it. This thing does a lot of damage, especially if you pair it with Broken Myth, which I'll explain in just a minute, and I'm now going to use that as a segue into the actual build itself. When leveling up Reim's skills, I will always, and haven't changed this yet, upgraded both his A and his ultimate completely, while leaving the B skill at level 4. But more importantly, let's talk about the items that we're going to buy. My standard build consists of a Broken Myth, Eye of the Harvest, Alternating Current, and then boots and defense and or support item. Sometimes I'll buy a Fountain of Renewal or a Crucible if I need extra support for my team. The catch is that I don't buy those items in that order. Generally, I will pick up the Eye of the Harvest first. If I'm going in the jungle, I'll buy the Crystal Bit. If I'm going to go in the lane, I'll pick up the Energy Battery, and then I'll begin to work that into the Eye of the Harvest. At the same time, I'll pick up some boots and some defense items. After I pick up the Eye of the Harvest, I'm going to begin to work for the Broken Myth. Sometimes I'll pick up 2 heavy prisms before actually building the Broken Myth, but this is going to be the next item that I do buy. You'll see a lot of people building Frostborn. Morons. I don't think that's important. You can question it if you want to, but I think this is a lot better. Once I've picked up the Broken Myth, I'll generally have another defense. Sometimes I'll end up with another boots by this time. And then the most important item after to complete the endgame build is the Alternating Current. I haven't seen a lot of people build this, maybe 1 or 2 when playing Reim, but I think it's very, very important, especially paired with the Broken Myth. At this point in the game, it's usually pretty late because these are all very expensive items, as you can see. And then I'll have maxed out my defense, usually an Atlas, sometimes the Metal Jacket, and more often than not, I'll end up buying an Aegis. So that's pretty much my standard build. So without further ado, let's jump into some gameplay tips and some awesome moments with Reim. Notice that we're sitting around the 12-minute mark in the game, and I've already upgraded both my armor and shield twice. Even though the enemy will put a 3-person gang can catch me off guard, my defensive items allow me to survive the initial assault. Catherine moves in and helps support me with a fountain, which buys me time to call in my ultimate, essentially turning the team fight around and securing victory. Building an early defensive Reim will help you to win team fights and take control of the jungle, which is extremely important, especially in the early game. Next I want to talk about Skye. Skye is definitely one of Reim's most deadly opponents. It's difficult for Reim to get up close and force a close fight, and it's hard to predict her movement with his A ability. Your best bet is to stop the engagement and stay as far back as possible. Notice how I'm focusing on the roam support, because I can kill him easily, and Skye is busy taking care of my roamer, which is currently the Ozo. Notice how I shot Reim's A ability into the bush, forcing Skye into a close quarter fight and making it easy to finish off the kill. It's best to use this to control the fight around you, forcing Skye to come into close quarters where it can be easier to slow her, root her, and finish her off. So hopefully now you guys will feel more comfortable with Reim. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Remember to return for more Vainglory gameplay build guides so that you too can become